Okay, this video is for Kevin. You haven't played EverQuest for years and years and years. You're playing it because this is what the group decided to do. And you're going to play a warrior because you want something that's fairly simple. You just want to get in there and attack the mob, grab aggro, and have some fun. Pick a name, any name. Pick a race, any race. I picked Wood Elf. I think it looks about as good as anything. Just look through the races. Pick what you want, male, female, it doesn't matter. You want to pick the shield and sword icon down there to make sure you select warrior. There you can play with the appearance if you want. Unclick tutorial and then move to heroic character 100. And then you'll click on heroic character and you'll enter the game. If the name you've chosen has already been selected, you'll have to re-choose it. And you'll zone into the game. So you're not a heroic character already. Apparently you zone in, just click the hero's journey. You don't care about that. And put down the various stuff that is on your icon. You don't need to worry about that. I would then remove the sword and the lantern that is in the slots already because you're going to be populating your character with new gear that you get. And if you don't remove that, then you'll have to find it in your bags, etc., and move it over. It's just a little step. It's no big deal. So now we're going to create the actual character. You move to Heroic 100. You click Heroic. It says this is irreversible. You say yes, because that is what you want to do. So now you select the options, and all the gear is just magically put in place. And you are ready to go. The next thing is very important. It's going to ask you if you want to change your hotkeys. Say yes. Yes, you want to change your hotkeys. And so then 4 bars, in this case, of hotkeys will be down there. Populate it, and that's what the meat of this video is going to be as I explain them. The first thing I'm going to do is I am going to move the hotkeys to the center of the screen, and I'm going to make them larger. You don't need to do that. You can leave them where they are. I have poor vision, and so I want to be able to read these things on the small screen that I am doing. So I'm going to change the size of the hotkeys to the maximum, which is 175. It makes them bigger. It makes them easier for me to see. Again, you don't need to do that. And you certainly don't want to put them in the middle of the screen. This is just for the purpose of going over this material. So what you'll see is you have 48 buttons on this setup. And below is the same 48 buttons rearranged for me to explain kind of what their functions are. It's actually 49 buttons because I've added the range button in. Once you get a bow, you can use that range weapon to pull mobs. Now you see I've color-coded the buttons. Again, that's just for discussion purposes. You don't need to do this. If you want to do it, I'll explain it to you later. But it's beyond the scope of this particular video. So the red buttons are all AAs or discs that increase your damage in some way, or at least that I foresee them in that way. The yellow buttons are all buttons that help your survivability, your armor, your defensive abilities. The green buttons are all buttons that increase your aggro, your ability to get the mobs hating you and not, the enchanter or the wizard or whoever I happen to be playing. And then the final 2 bars are kind of things that fall in their own little category, and I'll go over those. And then the last one, of course, is Lesson to Devoted, increases your experience for 30 minutes. Rest, which will give you, anytime your endurance gets below 21%, click on that and you'll begin to generate endurance quicker. And how the Warlord is going to help you lose aggro, which you won't need to do very much, but if we're all dying, you might want to try that. Now my intention is not to teach you how to be a warrior here. So I'm going to say, first, in terms of priority, the green buttons are your most important because the green buttons are what let you fulfill your primary job as a tank. Keep the mobs on you. The yellow buttons are next importance. They keep you alive because if you die, we all die. And then the red buttons are the least important because we don't care about your DPS that much. And then I'm not going to say when to click. I'm going to say click these buttons whenever you feel like you need it. If you need to have a mob pay more attention to you, click a green button. If you're taking damage, click a yellow button. If you feel like you've got your red buttons up, click those red buttons because extra damage always does more aggro too. And just click them whenever you feel like clicking them. And then get a sense of how long they stay down and what their effect is, and if you're happy. So obviously, melee attack, you can do a social hotkey to attack a specific or assist a specific player. In this case, you're a tank. You're our main tank, and you are our main assist. We will be assisting off of you. This is because the crowd control, which will be the enchanter or bard, whoever your brother Dave decides to play, is going to be mezzing mobs. You don't want to assist on him because he is going to be targeting mobs that we don't want to attack. We're going to be attacking whoever you attack. So that's your assist. There's an X target window. You're familiar with that. It's in the lower right of the screen. You can just click on that, or you can click on the mob to target it. Then, as I said, there's a range attack. The kick button, you're going to want to right-click on that and set it for auto attack. Since then you don't have to ever press it again. Knee strike does extra damage. Gut punch does extra damage. Vital strike does extra damage. Mighty strike discipline could do a lot of extra damage. Brutal onslaught discipline, a lot of extra damage. Determined reprisal will do extra damage. Rage of Ralos means that all your weapons, if they have any procs, will go off for 12 seconds. Stormwheel Blade and Rampage is a little different. Those are your two area of effect extra damage. So anytime you have more than one or two mobs in camp, feel free to hit Rampage or Stormwheel Blades unless we have mezzed mobs in camp. You don't want to hit that if we have mobs that have been mezzed by the enchanter and or bard. So those are your extra damage, the red bars. The yellow bars, Flash of Anger is your get out of jail. Like if you're really down in health or you're taking a lot of damage, that's going to basically make you semi-immune for a very limited period of time. And hopefully give somebody time to heal you or us to mez or something. Brace for Impact is similar. It's a very strong defense. And then Steadfast Defense. Steadfast Defense, press that pretty much any time you have the endurance to do it and you're being attacked. It refreshes every 12 seconds and it lasts over a minute. So when you do Steadfast Defense, if you click that, it's going to come up in your combat abilities as being on, and you can keep it up all the time. And it doesn't use a ton of endurance. It's Last Stand Discipline. You'll want to do that if you're taking a lot of damage and you need a really strong defense. Fortitude Discipline is another defensive discipline. Tempestuous Defense Discipline, another defense discipline. Blade Guardian, Tenacity. Okay, Commanding Voice, you're going to want to click that about every minute because it puts a buff on the whole party. So you'll want to do Commanding Voice about every minute. There's going to be a little buff that looks like a boot in your songs window. And anytime it goes down, click it again. Shield Topple refreshes about every 15 seconds. Click that whenever it's up, and you're targeting a mob. Field Guardian It refreshes instantly, lasts for 36 seconds, and it improves the armor class of everybody near you. So you're going to want to press Field Guardian about every 30 seconds. And it'll put a little shield buff in your song window. So we're looking at the green bars now. Blade of Anger, Unforsaken Attention, Ageless Enemy, Ridicule, Roar, Harassing Shout, Warrior's Auspice. All of those, just press any of those green buttons. Don't have to press them all, but just sort of keep pressing them anytime you feel like the mobs aren't giving you enough respect. Now, Taunt is a little different. You're going to hit Taunt, that button, anytime you've lost aggro. If the mob is attacking Dave or the wizard or myself, hit Taunt, and that'll hopefully pull the mob back onto you. So you only do that when the mob isn't attacking you. Roar of Carnage, Wade into Battle, and Area of Taunt are all abilities that you'll use when there's a lot of mobs in camp. It gives you area of effect aggro ability. So those you hold back for when there's multiple mobs in camp that are loose and attacking, as opposed to when we've got them mezzed and under control. Then finally, the blue bar, Weapon Covenant, increases the rate that your weapons trigger. It's reuse it every 30 minutes. Just feel to press it whenever you want. If your weapons have a proc, this will increase those procs. Just press it whenever you feel like it until you get comfortable with when you want to do it. Resplendent Glory increases the effectiveness of healing. So in a way, it's almost a yellow ability. Press it whenever you seem to be taking damage and you're getting heals. Heroic Blade. It's additional damage. And go ahead and click that whenever you want to try it out. Warlord's Bravery reduces melee damage, so it's a kind of a yellow ability. Click it whenever you feel like clicking it. Get familiar with it. Mage of the Mark Hunter absorbs spell damage, so that's useful occasionally if certain missions or if people you're getting hit by spell damage. Click that. Just click it whenever you feel like clicking it, get familiar with it, and we'll go on from there. Let's see. Warlord's Resurgence. That increases your health regeneration if you're taking damage. If you've been hurt, hit that. Battle Leap. That refreshes every 20 seconds. Anytime you start a battle, click Battle Leap. And you leap forward and increases your base melee damage by 35%. And you go forward about 10 feet, you inflict extra damage, you stun mobs for a very brief period. So it's sort of a leap into battle. Spire of the Warlords, that refreshes every 7.5 minutes. It gives you a variety of abilities. Go ahead and look at the alternate AA abilities, but since it's every 7.5 minutes, click it whenever you're doing damage, taking damage. And then Imperator's Command, that, I gotta look that one up. That's an AA. Okay, that is a group. It affects your group. It reduces the cast time, extra damage. This would be a good one to do whenever the group is burning or wants to do a whole bunch of damage. So feel free to click that one whenever you feel like it. Offensive Discipline increases your offensive capabilities, but also increases the damage you take. So don't use that if you think you're dying. Now, over here where you see combat abilities, if you hit Alt-W, there's going to be an icon in the window selector with crossed swords. That's your combat abilities. Click on that, and you can drag your combat abilities. There's AAs and there's discs. The discs are the ones you put over here, and when you use it, it will show when it's in effect. Shield Topple, you want to cast that a lot. Eventually, when you have synergy AAs in the future, that's going to be something you definitely want to click all the time because it'll be your synergy disc. So this is just a quick introduction into some of your abilities. I'm not telling you how to play a warrior. I'm just trying to give you a little bit of idea of what you've got in these 48 hotkeys. And what I suggest is try them out and see how they work. Good luck. See you Thursday night.